Hey guys, so it's been a bit, but we're back with a video, and the UFC is back this weekend, and it's not the best card. I wouldn't say it's a good card. It's at least decent in there, and the main event is one that I think a lot is going a bit under the radar, and I think these are two really good fighters in the middleweight division that aren't, the top five of that. Nassourdine Imaviv and Roman Dolidze. Now, initially, I kind of forgot that this fight was even going to be happening. But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, this is an interesting fight that could have some great implications for Nassourdine Imaviv because he did not have a good 2023. He was supposed to fight Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin Gastelum pulled out of the fight, and then Sean Strickland stepped in on I don't remember how, but I don't remember how long it was. But it was on shorter notice than was Nassourdine Imaviv had for training of that, and we didn't know it, but Sean Strickland would end up at the end of the year as becoming the UFC champion. So that loss hasn't aged horribly. And then some fight cancellations, and then was winning the fight against Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis isn't a bad fighter, I believe. Chris Curtis is in the middleweight rankings, but against other ranked opponents, Chris Curtis isn't that good. But he does have phenomenal takedown defense, which Nassourdine Imaviv actually managed to take him down multiple times, which was good. And then I believe it was a head clash, which turned into a no contest. So not a good year for him. And then Roman Dolidze, I don't remember. I believe it might have been near the end of 2022, he had his fight with Jack Hermansson, which he was getting pieced up in that fight by Jack Hermansson. But Jack Hermansson has horrible fight IQ and can't win 2 fights in a row, so he decided to start going in for takedowns. In the first round, he almost gets put in a rear naked choke, I believe, and I just couldn't understand what the hell he's going to do, and he survives that round after basically winning, in my opinion. Goes in the second round, and your brain's going to go, he's not going to try and do that again. Look what happened last time. And then he does it again because, let's remind you, Roman Dolidze, not the best striker, and he was beating him on there, and he couldn't get Jack Hermansson to the ground. And then Jack Hermansson takes him to the ground, and it gets reversed, and then Roman Dolidze starts landing heavy strikes and finishes him by TKO, I believe in the second round is when that happened. And it was just wow, that was horrible for Jack Hermansson moment. And I think Roman Dolidze is good. I just think he's also an older guy. He's in his mid-30s now. And in 2023, he ends up losing to Marvin Vettori. Now, I would need to rewatch that fight, but it was obviously a very, very close fight. I think at the time I might have been leaning towards Roman Dolidze winning. But in either way, even if I'm not going to argue with you if you think Marvin Vettori won, if you think Roman won, the point is neither of them looked good in that fight. Marvin Vettori never looks good in his fights, and he certainly did not look good in that fight. And Roman Dolidze was bad as well. It's a point where if you're not beating Marvin Vettori, and especially you're not making it notable that you're better than him, I don't have much faith for you. And I think he might be a little too high in the rankings for his skill level and who he's being. Then you have Nassourdine Imaviv over here, who, as I was saying before, not the best 2023. He was on a 3-fight winning streak beforehand with decent wins. The only real notable one I can say was Joaquin Buckley, who Joaquin's now gone down to welterweight, so it hasn't aged the best. And before that, he lost to Phil Hawes, who Roman Dolidze has beaten. And that one was also a close fight, but it's still not a good look in that. So this fight, I'm not really against whoever you pick in this fight, but I think Nassourdine Imaviv is better because, yeah, he lost in my opinion, pretty clearly to Sean Strickland. Obviously, that hasn't aged horrible considering what Sean Strickland has done, how he performed against Dricus du Plessis, making that one of, if not the closest title fight in UFC history. Just an amazing fight. I think everyone needs to see that fight and rewatch it because it was great. He beat Izzy. I'm talking about Sean Strickland here. He beat Izzy. He beat Abbas Magomedov, who obviously Abbas hasn't looked good, but you get the idea. He beat the up-and-coming guy. So Sean Strickland, that one isn't a bad loss to have. And what is it? And near the end of the fight, I'm just gonna say it here. Imavov was doing really good in the end. I think he took the 5th round, and I believe I don't remember what the other round I gave him, but it was 3-2 in my opinion from the last time I watched the fight and when I watched it happen. And he was doing good. He has very good fundamental striking. He can grapple. He took Chris Curtis down. I think he can take down Roman Dolidze, so that has to be in Roman's head, even though that's where Roman's going to want to take the fight. But you also got to realize that Imavov is literally called the sniper. He is this tall, I believe, 6'2" or 6'3" guy with a pretty long frame of that, great striking, and he's got a very good understanding. Has pretty decent to good footwork, which the footwork is kind of what is giving me the idea to pick Imavov, because when you look at Roman Dolidze, he struggles against people with decent footwork. He was struggling against, obviously, Jack Hermanson with that. That was, you just couldn't do anything with him on the feet. And it even comes to, like, the plotty movement of Marvin Vettori. Marvin Vettori has never been excellent really anywhere fighting-wise of that, but he just has so much hard work of that. A granite chin, just pure heart determination, and a work ethic that I think is just unheard of, that makes him so hard to deal with. But even with Marvin Vettori's like plotty kind of footwork, that Roman Dolidze just wasn't doing good striking with him. And that's not something that you see often against Marvin Vettori. And so when you get a guy like Nassourdine Imaviv, who I think has better footwork than Jack Hermanson, better striking than Jack Hermanson, obviously better than Marvin Vettori in striking, I think Marvin Vettori, I believe Marvin Vettori beat Jack Hermanson. But, you get the idea of that. I think just in pure striking, I think Jack Hermanson might be better, but well-roundedness and grit determination, and also just a slightly more consistency, I'd give it to Marvin Vettori. Because Marvin Vettori, at least, he loses to these top guys. And that, but, sorry, I keep doing side trailing of that. But I just think Nassourdine Imaviv, way better striker. And it's not like Jack Hermanson, where Jack Hermanson on the ground against Roman Dolidze couldn't really do much other than get him to the ground, which Roman Dolidze was just happy. He's like, yes, please do that. Roman Dolidze really was, let's say Roman Dolidze was doing good at striking. Jack Hermanson goes for a takedown. He's not going to the ground with him. He's stuffing that takedown and doing that. And I just think that the mixture of how well-rounded Nassourdine Imaviv is, he's got something to prove in. He's younger. I mentioned it kind of before for Roman Dolidze. Roman Dolidze is at least 35 or 36, I believe. And that's, like, not horrible, but it's not good. It's not like the lighter weight classes, where once you're past, like, 33 or 34, that's when it's like, oh, that's not good. He's, like, 36 now at middleweight, so he can still win. Because, I mean, we got, like, Jared Cannonier, who's, like, 39 and is still going crazy in the divisions with that stuff, but I just don't think Roman Dolidze is top 10 material right now. Or, well, I'd say right now, he's not like he's 25 or something. He doesn't really got much time, so it's either he has to be making some good improvements from this time off, or he's just gonna fade out of the top 10, then top 15. But I'm just gonna go with Nassourdine Imaviv. And Nassourdine Imaviv has 5-round experience. And yes, he lost of that, but he at least stayed in the fight, and he was competitive with Sean Strickland, who, mind you, last month was still the champion of the middleweight division. So I think Nassourdine Imaviv, better experience, that he has 5-round experience of that. He was winning the Chris Curtis fight, so I don't think he's mentally going to be looking at that as, I lost that fight. So, and he shouldn't, because, I mean, obviously no contest, couldn't continue. I get it of that, but don't be looking as like a loss. Be taken as like mentally wise, go like, okay, I didn't look bad in that fight. I was winning the fight. It's okay. In this fight, he's going to, in my opinion, get a 4th-round TKO. I don't think Roman Dolidze is going to last cardio-wise, or just he's not going to be able to strike with Nassourdine Imaviv or really do anything on the ground. He might get a takedown, because I don't think Nassourdine Imaviv has the best like takedown defense, but his footwork will make that harder to even like just grab him, that stuff. Nassourdine Imaviv just has that weird Dagestani just like strength, that weird kind of strength that just doesn't look natural. Sorry. But you get the idea. And then just being in France, learning kickboxing, that hopefully doesn't make him soy or any of that stuff. But yeah, Nassourdine Imaviv, 4th round TKO. I believe he's going to drop him and then fall him to the ground and start raining down strikes. Maybe just put some elbows in there on the ground there just to finish him off. But, that's my take now. Let me know what you think in the comments. This should be hopefully an exciting main event. I hope the card at least has some fun fights. Bye.